afternoon, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you for speaking with Kuwait TV today. Your Excellency, since 2013, your Ambassador, extraordinary and plenipotentiary to the State of Kuwait, Qatar, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sultanate of Oman, Bahrain, and United Arab Emirates. You did a great career in scientific field. What circumstances brought you to a diplomatic life?
Well, it is a very interesting thing when you work in science. One day you're invited to government. So I was working in the government structure on my specialization, because I was heading the nuclear agency in my country. And after the government job, then the government usually assigns wherever it wants. So the government service, the public service is usually like like military. Mm-hmm. You just get an order. So I got an order to represent the country in the Gulf.
What did you feel when you started a new stage in your life as ambassador? What was your first feeling and impression?
Of course, it was not easy. Because, how it's said, starting totally new, different area. But I can say that it was not, I was not very unfamiliar, because I was representing a country in different international organizations before. So I was representing the government in the International Atomic Energy Agency. I was representing government in the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research. It is an intergovernmental organization. And I was representing government also the UN APCTT, which is under the Enkhbat. So somehow it is continuing.
Your Excellency, it's very interesting to know, did you miss your scientific work field? And why did you choose particularly nuclear physics?
Of course I miss it very much. But I did not cut all the ties with scientific world. Means that I still have communication with scientists in so many countries, even in Kuwait. And for example, last year in 2014, I was elected as a honorary doctor of the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research. So it means that I do have ties. I did not cut all the ties with the scientific world, firstly. Secondly, I'm the member of Mongolian Academy of Science. Mm-hmm. Means that I have all the time to be active member of this organization and have to communicate with the scientific world. Mm-hmm. And why I choose the nuclear physics? I did not choose. It was somehow the fate, because my father was a nuclear physicist. Mm-hmm. And I was grown up in this microclimate. And I was grown up in the small town, which is a scientific town. There lives nuclear physicists. So from very young age, I was among the nuclear physicists. So how it said, it was my fate. I cannot choose anything else.
Even you did not choose this field, but once you started, you love it.
Yes, yes.
And you got some experience from your father and...
Of course, of course. All the talks, when I was a kid, all the talks, all the discussions were about this. The school was, how I would say it, was mathematical and physical school. So all my life was pushing me to there. So I can say that it's not me who chose the profession chose me.
The profession chose you. Now you are ambassador and you are in Kuwait since 3 years. How did you find this country? What was your expectation and how would you describe it for your people in Mongolia?
It's totally different from my expectations because I didn't been before in Kuwait. So when I was nominated as an ambassador, so it was very sudden, first of all. So I start to look around, all the information about Kuwait, what is it, how is it? And in my imagination, there was a small place, all sand, desert. How people live, eh? And one of the hottest countries. So I came here, how to say it, very scared. But I found that it is hot, but it is a very lovely country. And the people here, how would say it, very friendly. And I do not feel here stranger, I do not feel here outsider. It's everywhere when I come, the people meet with big enthusiasm. And my country and Kuwait, we do have a long history of the friendly relations. And last year in 2015, we celebrated 40 years anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations. So, how to say it, we are very close.
We are very close. Between Mongolia and Kuwait, already 35 years of diplomatic relation.
40.
40 years.
Yes.
How would you describe, Your Excellency, relationship between Kuwait and Mongolia in terms of science, economy, and diplomatic field?
I can say that we do have very good political relations. So we exchanged the visits. Our presidents have been paid visit to Kuwait. Our Prime Minister paid a visit to Kuwait. And His Highness Amir paid official visit to Mongolia, and His Highness Sheikh Subah loves to travel to Mongolia and spend his part of his summer vacation in my country. So I can say that we do have very good political and diplomatic relations. On economical relations, unfortunately, we do not have much ties. As Mongolia, a bit far. And although it is now one of the very fast growing economies, still we do not have much investment from Kuwait. So,
but do you see any potential for investment?
Of course, there are a lot of potentials. Mongolia is a very fast growing economy. It was 2 years ago, it was the fastest growing economy in the world. So Mongolia is a huge country concerning the territory. We do have 4 seasons. We do have different areas, starting from the woods in the north, and second biggest desert in the world is Gobi Desert in the south. Flat places in the east, and high mountains in the west. So we do have all the climates in Mongolia. And we do have a lot of minerals, starting from A to Z, starting from gold and finishing the uranium. Somehow Kuwait is working in this area in Mongolia because Kuwait have shares in French company Areva, and Areva is very active in Mongolia in mining sector. And I guess that private investors can look forward to have big profits in Mongolia.
It's interesting. A new information. I'm sure Mongolia have a very great history, and there are a lot of interesting places that you would recommend for tourists to visit.
You know, as I told you already, Mongolia is a huge country concerning the territory. And we do have so many different climatic areas. But beside this, we do have very rich history, ancient history. The Mongolian statehood counts more than 2,200 years. And the history of great Mongol Empire, which was under Genghis Khan, established more than 800 years. So there are a lot of historical places where tourists can visit. Besides this, we do have ecological tourism in Mongolia, and Mongolia was named by UN as one of the 7 safest places in the world. Because Mongolia is very safe and very, how would say it, relaxed place. And also UN announced that Mongolia can be one of the 10 ecotourism destinations. So this can be of interest. First, secondly, if there are people who are interested in the hunting, fishing, and the wildlife, it's also Mongolia, because we do have 1.5 million square kilometers territory, and there lives only about 3 million population. So it's a very deserted space.
Desert space. Your Excellency, what is the procedure to obtain visa to Mongolia for resident and non-Kuwaiti residents?
It is very easy, because for Kuwait citizens, we do have a very fast and very easiest way to obtain visa. Have to come to embassy, fill in the application form, and in 3 days this will be ready. Sometimes much faster, depending on the embassy, on the number of applicants. For non-Kuwaitis, we do have a list of countries with whom we have good relations, so mostly it is very easy to obtain Mongolian visa. With some countries, with very few countries, we do have to ask permission from Mongolian authorities, but it is very few countries.
About the family of His Excellency Ambassador of Mongolia, you will discover about our short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Diplomatic Mission Program. We are in the residency of His Excellency Ambassador of Mongolia, Mr. Enkhbat. And now we are going to discover about his family. Your Excellency, can you tell us please more about your family? And do you usually visit them in Mongolia, or more oftenly they visit you in Kuwait?
My family is not big in Mongolian standard. My own family was big, because my parents had 6 children. But my family, I do have 3 children. And now some of them it is difficult to call children because the elder one is 39. And they live I do have 3 daughters, and my elder daughter lives and works in Mongolia. She works in one of the banks in Mongolia. The next daughter, she lives in Korea, Seoul, as a representative of one of Mongolian organizations. And the youngest one lives with me here in Kuwait. And but as she is young, she studies in school here.
As I can see, you are wearing a wonderful traditional Mongolian dress. Can you please explain for us more in details about the tradition of dressing in your country?
Mongolia is a cold country, so mainly the cloth is warm. Besides this, it is a very, how it's said, continental climate. So it means that in winter it is very cold. In summer it is very hot. So protection from cold is cloth, so thick dress. And protection of hot is also thick dress.
Because, nice philosophy.
Yeah, the thick dress protects you from the heat first. And we drink the salted tea.
Salted tea,
salted
not
tea.
sweetened tea.
No, salted, because salt keeps the water in the body. So we, protect from the losing a lot of water. And we now many people use national dresses, and this one is not everyday one. This one is for the official meetings or for the holidays and so on. But beside the Mongolian national dress, I do love the Arabic dress. I, at home especially, I all the time wear dishdasha.
Dishdashas?
Yeah? Dishdasha.
But for sure it looks like different than Kuwaiti dishdasha.
No, it's I use the Kuwaiti dishdasha.
Kuwaiti.
Here, yeah? So, but the problem is that dishdasha is very loose, so gain weight.
You cannot control.
Yeah, I cannot control.
I can see you have some interesting souvenirs. I think this one from Mongolia.
Yes.
Can you please explain me more about it?
Yes, there are 2 souvenirs. One is falcon. This is the typical Kuwaiti souvenir. We do have many falcons in Mongolia.
Oh.
So welcome to Mongolia, and you can enjoy the falcons there. The other one is a musical instrument named moringhor. Moringhor means the horse instrument. This musical instrument made of horse hair, and it is very ancient instrument. And we Mongols were using this one as for playing songs, and the sounds are like the Mongolian long step. So when you travel on the horse, it is usually a very long journey, and you have this music and so-called long songs. So it is like our step. I do not have here the real one, but I do have in the embassy real one.
It will be interesting to see.
This musical instrument is a national symbol, and by the decree of President, every organization and every family must have this instrument. So
in every home.
Yes.
And there must be a member of family who have to know how to play this instrument.
Not necessarily, actually, because to play musical instrument is difficult. You must first have some sense, musical sense, and so on, so on.
What, Your Excellency, what is the most famous traditional event in Mongolia?
Usually in summer, in July, we do have a big festival. Like here, Hala February, we do have in July big festival, and there are so-called games, 3 games of men. So a lot of competition. Of course, first of all, wrestling, then racing, horse racing, and then archery. So these are the 3 we call 3 games of men.
It's very unique activities nowadays.
Yeah.
Also, it's very interesting to know about the top destination you would recommend to visit for the tourists. I'm planning to visit Mongolia, so which place would you recommend me to see first of all?
There are variety of different activities and places for tourism. For example, we do have the seismic active areas. So we do have the hot sources and hot water, the volcano active regions. And these waters are good for health. And we have the bath, like in Tokyo near the Fuji mountain, they do have onsen. We do have nearly the same in one of the provinces, not far from Ulaanbaatar. In Ulaanbaatar, of course, you can find every attraction for the Western tourists. Besides this, many people goes to Gobi Desert. The Gobi Desert is totally different from the desert here, because it is semi-desert. So there are some grass, and there are many berries in there. We do have a lot of different caves, very deep and far-going caves. I was with my daughter in one of them, and we found there the skeleton, stone skeleton of pterodactyl. So it is very interesting.
Very ancient place.
Yes, very ancient places there. And you can find a variety of different activities. Mountain climbing, then rafting on the mountain rivers, and so on and so on. Some of them are a bit dangerous. Rafting is dangerous because the rivers are very fast.
Very fast.
And horse riding, camel riding. We do have totally different camels in Mongolia with 2 humps.
2 humps. I hear that in Mongolia people love to drink horse milk. Do they believe that it gives them some healing and strengthen their body?
We do have a lot of similarities with Kuwaitis, because we also love to drink camel milk. But we drink mostly fermented. So fermented camel milk is more, how would say it, bitter. And it helps in the hot and dry weather in Mongolia.
Mongolia mostly have a dry climate?
Very dry, very dry. So, but depending on areas. On the north we have a lot of woods, forests, so it is not very dry there. There are a lot of lakes, rivers, where one can, as I said, rafting, we use the boats or for fishing. But in the south, there's a Gobi Desert, big desert. So, and the mountain climbing is very popular in Mongolia. The highest mountain is 4,000 something meters. So it is quite high mountain, and tourists love to climb this mountain.
It's very interesting, great country. Your Excellency, does the embassy planning to organize any cultural event in Kuwait to introduce more about Mongolia culture, its traditions in 2016?
Yes, we are discussing with the Culture Council here, and about organizing the exhibition, and about bringing here the performers. Last year we brought here a few performers, but now we are discussing about much bigger group first. Secondly, we are discussing to bring the exhibition of dinosaurs, because Mongolia is a very well-known place where the dinosaurs, full dinosaur skeletons were found. So we do have the dinosaur skeletons which are available to bring to here. So I think that this can be of interest. So we discussed this with Sheikh Salman, Minister of Information, who is responsible also for tourism and culture. And I discussed this also with His Excellency Mr. Aliyuha, who is chairing the Cultural Council. So I hope this that we can bring these exhibitions here, so to people of Kuwait, and not only Kuwait, of all the region can enjoy.
I think it's kind of unique exhibition that never held before in Kuwait.
Never. We had this in Japan some time ago. We organized it in US, so there were so many visitors.
Mongolia, they're having a good political and economic relation with which countries?
Actually, we do have good relations with all countries in the world. But of course, the closest relations are with our neighbors, Russia and China. Now we have the policy of the third neighbor. So third neighbor is US and Germany and France.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for sharing with us an interesting moments of your private and professional life, and to let us discover more about your great country. Would you like to say a message for community in Kuwait from yourself?
Thank you. Thank you, first of all, for showing the interest in my country, and thank you for presenting my country to Kuwaiti society. And of course, I want to thank, first of all, His Highness Amir for his kind attention to us and kind support. And His Highness Crown Prince, His Highness Prime Minister. I had meetings with all of them, and the government supports us a lot, and Amiri Diwan supports us a lot. And when I talk about Amiri Diwan, I cannot not mention Sheikh Nasser, His Highness Sheikh Nasser, who supports us a lot. His Highness Sheikh Nasser Ahmad, son of Amir, and Minister of Amiri Diwan. So we feel here in Kuwait very warm atmosphere, and we do have a lot of friends here who support us and cooperate with us in so many different areas. And I hope that in the nearest future we will have a lot of business people traveling to Mongolia, because we do have very interesting projects in Mongolia for investment. And besides this, just for fun, just for tourism, everybody invited to Mongolia and welcome to our embassy, can come to embassy, find information and about Mongolia anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you. Thank you for watching us today. Join us next Thursday, Diplomatic Mission Program. Thank you.